Good morning. Welcome to the JagCorner. I think I had a little bit of a false start there. Thought I had switched. Was talking to myself for a bit and realized that I hadn't switched yet. Thanks for joining me this morning or joining me later on if you're watching this later. Yesterday we were working on a Mystify, a very classic screensaver from Windows, but for the Atari Jaguar. And so it's been fun. We got pretty far. Somebody in the chat said 95%, probably a little bit less than 95%, but we're closing in. So hopefully I can wrap my head around this three-dimensional linear array thing that I've put together. We may just start over from scratch on that just so I can make sure my head's wrapped around it. But we'll take a look at it, see if I can figure it out fairly quick. As I was thinking about it, there's also a couple other things we're going to have to do in order to get the trail to look like it does in Mystify. I realized it isn't drawing every frame for the shape. It actually it shifts, stops, shifts that, and I'm pretty sure that's how they're doing the spacing in the trail too. So basically they just have a timer that runs down or up, and once it hits a time, that's when it actually runs that draw function and draws the shape, the polygon. Anyways, I don't think there's any news. I was looking at let's see if I got that set up. Yeah, I was looking at Twitter here, and I didn't see much. Atari Jaguar. Oh, look at that. There's some, it's not news, but it's important. Thoughts on the Trevor McFur classic Crescent Galaxy. I was playing this the other day with the Bluetooth dongle that Humble Bazooka just got from Humble Bazooka, and it's not a great shooter. Not objectively at least, but I enjoy it. It's definitely a bit masochistic, but it's very interesting looking because nearly everything's pre-rendered in the game, pre-rendered 3D, and it's kind of fun to look at. It's definitely an interesting game. There's these I guess they're bonus stages that are just bizarre, and then there's another world that's really, really bizarre. It's kind of almost has this 90s motif to it, like radical, rad 90s, late 80s, early 90s motif to it. It's fun to look at. Could have used some music or something. I think it only has two songs: the title music, and then this looping music for the level selection. So, anyways, I enjoy it, but I understand why people don't like it. So, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything there. You know, there is one thing for the links, and I just don't know if they hashtagged it here on... I was going to see if I could find it here really quick. There are 3 games, and I can't remember the name of them. We're probably going to jump over here to Atari Age to find them. They've kind of been flying under the radar on social media. Somebody may have posted about it on Facebook, but I'm not entirely sure. Nope. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. Let's go take a look at Atari Age forums. Links. There it is, right in front of me. Okay, seems like somebody was talking about it very recently. Microvaders. Oh, Microvaders. I guess I could talk about that for a second. So this is a Songbird release. I'm wearing their shirt, but I'm not sponsored. So, but Carl, he's been hacking. I guess this is an older game. I don't know the history about it too much. He's been hacking it, updating the graphics and the music, I believe. And my guess is there's probably some different level design as well if he's hacking things. Okay, to make up for my faux pas yesterday, here's a sneak peek for you, show of hand who likes the new art style. So yeah, there's been an update to how it looks. And I prefer the non-framed look for sure. It's definitely a more modern look, and it feels slightly more immersive when you don't have frames like this. Even though the frames are a good chance to do some cool artwork, static artwork, but yeah, nowadays people don't seem to put a whole lot of value in that. And so this more open look, I think looks attractive for sure. Either way, I think you can make it look attractive. But yeah, the artwork looks cool. Looks like there's a video here. Maybe we should look at that here really quick. Yeah, so it's what games are there like that? I've never been a huge fan. Like it's Space Invaders, but it's a little more involved. Galaxia, I think that's what it was called. It's a little more like that, where there's more movement, more variable movement in the enemies, and yeah. Anyways, looks fun. I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick up a copy yet. We'll see. I do collect a little bit for the Lynx, but yeah, not a. It's not as high of a priority as the Jag is for me. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else other than, oh yeah, I was talking about, there's one other thing. See if we can find it here really quick. Dicey Fantasy. Is that it? This Captain Harlinks thing is pretty cool. I think I've talked about it before, so I won't talk about it now unless there's some major updates. Here it is. New Lynx Games, the Viking Trilogy. So there's 3 volumes to this. So the first volume, I don't even think you can get anymore because he did this like special edition and he only made so many copies of it. There's been a lot of people that have been disappointed with not being able to get a copy, so maybe we'll see a re-release of that in the future. But yeah, it's quite the collection that he's got going on here, or she. Find the love, protect the love, save the love. So there isn't any. I think the reason why I haven't talked about this is there isn't much to look at, like visually. If you want to go read about this, you can go read about this on your own time, but it'd be nice if there was a video. Something. It's just pictures of the collection. And I think there were some images on the first post. Let's go take a look at that. You have to download them though, and so I can't really show you, I don't think. Can I just drag this up? And there we go. Okay, so this is apparently what it looks like. Looks like it's a platformer. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I would like to see some gameplay though. I'm all about the art, but come on, open up. See if I can open up this other one. Nope, it's not gonna let me. Oh, that's the actual ROM. Looks like there's 2 ROMs for. Oh, maybe I should pull that up here really quick. We can take a look. No, you can go there on your own time. I feel like it could have been. Oh, maybe there's some more screenshots here on the website. Let's go take a look. I want to give this a fair chance. It's bizarre that there's so little about it. Visually speaking. I mean, he talks about it quite a bit, but yeah, I don't see any listings here either. I guess Yatsuna Games is going to be selling at least volume 2 and 3. Yeah, volume 2 and 3 will be sold by Fadest on his website, Yatsuna Games, and volume 1 will only be available in the limited edition I created for the occasion. I got excited about this project, and the result is a little bit expensive. I would sell this box for €110, and you have to add the shipping cost since France or from France. 15 boxes are made, and 11 are for sale. So there's only 15 copies of the first volume, so that isn't going to be scalped at all, is it? Anyways, okay. I think. How can I pay you? Yeah. So everything you see in the pictures, yeah, the gameplay is very simplistic. Walk, jump, and avoid traps and enemies, find the items, and reach the end of the level. Then repeat again and again until the last exit of the door. So there's the game. Yeah. Cool. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just wish I could see more. It'd be cool to see more. Anyways, I think that's it. If there's anything that you want me to talk about or take a look at and want me to comment about, let me know. With that being said, let's go over to coding. Okay, trying to remember where we left off. I honestly don't remember. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think we were just trying to work out. Let's take a look. So clear, make clean, make virtual Jaguar. Make sure that pops up so you guys can see it. It looks good. See what we got. So our first shape is working fine, but our routine or our for loops that go through and are supposed to create our trails aren't working correctly. And I think the reason why I'm having an issue with this is I'm not properly looking and selecting things inside of my array that's supposed to store previous positions for the shape. It's either not storing them correctly or it's not looking them up correctly. It's one or the other. So we're going to go through. This might be a little bit bland, but we're going to go through, take a look at that code and see if I can figure it out really quick. I may even try to visualize the array just with some comments to try to make it a little more interesting. It's funny we aren't getting... It's funny we're clamped right there. What is that, about 15, 20 pixels down? And it's weird that this line is even moving. So, yeah, I think it's just a lookup problem if we're assigning everything correctly. So we do the assignment when we move our shape. And it's just this first for loop before we actually change the position, we save it. And what I was struggling with yesterday was just a reverse for loop. Did I give up on that? Looks like I may have given up on that. Shift values down an array. Okay, yeah, so this is the issue. So we have our trail, so we have our shape. That's the first dimension. No, that's not even a dimension in our array. We have our shape, which it has its own array, but it's just the vertexes. We got that all figured out because we can draw our first shape without a problem. And then within that, we have our trails, which has another array. In that, we have each trail has the same amount of vertices as the shape does. And so we have a trail, the amount of vertices in it, and then XY values for every vertice. So that's why this is a little difficult. We're a three-dimensional array, and I think I'm just not selecting things correctly within that array. So we're going through each vertex up here in this for loop. That's good, because we have to do that both in our shape array and in our trail array. And then my trail array, and I think this is where I'm having the problem. We need to review how I'm allocating this data, but we're doing trails, the amount of trails, and then in that we have all the vertexes for each trail. So in this case, I think we're just doing 3 to start with. Maybe I should just do 1 to start with. Yeah, so right here, let's just do 1. I'm going to see what that looks like right now. Just so, okay. So we can see what that looks like. It looks like the first point is working correctly. It's tracking correctly there. So yeah, we're fine there. I'm going to take a look at the trail in it really quick. Malloc size of trail plus trail amount, which is 1 times 2 times vertex. So that's our 3 dimensions. So we have our trail as the 1 dimension, and then we have our vertex, vertices as the 2nd dimension, and how many values per vertex we're storing, which is this 2. It's an XY value. And we times that all by size integer just to make sure we're allocating the right amount of memory. This was tripping us up yesterday. I forgot to assign this, and we got that fixed. So that should be fine. And then here we go through Yeah, we go through that 3-dimensional array and we just assign everything to 0 to begin with. That's correct. Yeah. 1 times, yeah, so we're fine there. So this formula is basically how we do how to specifically select a vertex value in that array, and then we can just offset +0 or +1 to get our x and y values. So I'm pretty sure this is correct. I think I'm 95% sure this is good. I'm just trying to think of how we might be able to test this. What I could do, well, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm pretty sure we'll come back to it if I get stumped further on down here. So we're going to skip draw shape because that's done after move shape. I should probably switch those around to visually represent. Oh, sorry. I have that same frog in my throat this morning. To visually represent how one should run those functions in your main loop. We may get to that though. We'll see. I'm not worried about that right now. So I think the problem is either going to be here or it's going to be here. And so we're going to start with this. So here's our first dimension. Well, okay, so actually this... Oh, I think I figured out what's wrong here. No, this is right. Because this is how many... Oh, yeah, okay. I'm missing a dimension here. That's what's going on. This is 4 dimensions. So, right now, I'm selecting the trail I'm working. Trail vertex ID. This is the issue right here. So I'm not actually setting up. So MyInit, there is a problem with MyInit. So right now I'm storing all the trails, but I'm not storing enough steps for that trail. Oh, okay. So that's what this value is for. So we're actually gonna make this 2. So those trails are a history, right? So we have the initial, those shapes, the trail, the shapes, the previous shapes are the trail of the main shape going throughout time. And so in this case, we'll have 2 steps. And what that is a history. And the for loops we're looking at here are, we need to update that history as the main trail moves along. And where I'm running into an issue is I'm not treating it as an actual history, I don't think. I'm just storing the first position. Oh no, that's right. This is our history. Ugh, gosh, this is always mind-bending dealing with this this many levels in an array, or dimensions in an array. Trail ID, because this is our history. Trail ID, because we're going to go through 2 steps. So we have our main one and then 2 steps after that. So that's fine. And it's doing it according to our trail count. And we're going to step through. Okay. I don't think I need this. Vertex ID. Okay, yeah, I'm doing that, and I go through the amount of vertices in there. We select it, plus vertex ID. Yep, that's correct. This gets us to, let's see here. Yeah, that gets us to the position, the trail we're working on, and then this selects the vertice that we're working on in the array. Then we take the X, put that in our first point. Second point. Oh, this is drawing. I'm looking at the wrong one. We need to look at this one. Gosh. Trail vertex ID. Okay, I think I'm just using a different... No, I should be using... So I know what our problem is here. Vertex, 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 and this just needs to be, I need to remember that. Vertex ID, just need to move this, X0, like that. Actually, no, we don't need this because we're already going through the vertex. It's this for loop. That's the issue. I think. Let's see here. Yeah, we can. Pretty sure we can get rid of this. We don't need that for loop because we're doing it already up here. And what we need to do is invert this loop. If I remember correctly, we need to make sure it goes backwards because we we want so we'll have with 2. Let's see here. Yeah, the top one is just, yeah, we got to make sure we have trails. Maybe my minimum on this is 3. Let's set this to 3 just so, and I think that's what I was working with before. Yeah, we're inverting this. Like that. Equals trail count. ID minus less greater than 0. That should invert it. I could make this -1. I'm just worried that that might cause a crash. Just want to make sure it doesn't try to select something in the array that it shouldn't, a value that doesn't exist. Okay, that's fine. And then we need to switch this out for vertex ID. That gets our selected. Then this jumps us back a trail. Yeah, that's correct. So that's our previous vertex. That should be fine. And if it's 0, this is going to be a problem too, I believe. Oh, let's see here. So we're going back through them. Oh no, this is fine. This is fine. That's good, because it's just taking our current position and putting it in there. Trail position selected vertex equals the previous, and so we do. This is where we do our shift down. So this should all be fine. I think it was just this that was tripping us up a little bit. Let's see here. Yep, and we're just, so basically what we're doing is we have our primary shape and then we have our trails. In this case we have 3, right? And we're just saying take these selected vertices of this trail, so we look at the very last one and then we say take the ones to the second to last, shift those down, and then move to the second to last, take the one for third from last, shift it down like that, and then take the position of the primary shape and just paint that there. And so it should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. I think we have this now. It was that extra for loop that was causing an issue. It did not need to be that complicated. I don't know if the draw routine is correct yet. It looks like we're a little bit closer. Let's see here. Can I make sense of this? Let's go take a look at our draw routine. So we're going through each trail. That's just a forward loop. And then we go through each vertex. We select our vertex, and that's our first point. We find the second one. Okay, so finding the second one might be a bit tricky. These are wrong, first of all. Oh, wait. No. These are right. Trail ID, select a vertex. Yeah, because we get our offset. Find the next one. That's fine. It's our loop back that is a problem. So we hit our last vertices. We need to loop it back to the first one. It's not trail ID. That is incorrect. It is block shape first vertex ID equals, it should just be this. Two times, yep, it should just be that. We can actually replace this now. I'm just gonna first vertex ID, and this puts us back at the first vertex. So that should be fine if we hit our last one. That was a fix for sure. Let's give it a try. X2. Gosh, did that change anything? I think it did. Yeah, it is getting a little bit closer, I think. It's not crashing, which is a good sign. I'm gonna actually do a test here really quick on this reverse greater than 0, greater than -1. See if this crashes it. If it doesn't, that'd be cool, because it'd be really useful to know how to, yeah, that crashed it. Yeah, it's because it's trying to select something outside of the bounds of the array. In fact, it probably gives me a warning up here. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's good to know about that stuff, especially when the compiler doesn't actually warn you about it. I'd think that'd be something it could check during the compiling, but guess not. Oh, man. Okay, so we're going through each trail. Trail selected vertex. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this out so it's similar to the one we just did. Trail, I really should change the names on these. Trail, what did I call it? First vertex. Trail, first vertex ID. It's actually a little bit useful that the names are different here. That way I know I'm looking at the right function, because there are some similarities that could trick me. Okay, so that's our first block. This shouldn't change anything. It should just be exactly the same. Yep, it's exactly the same. So I'm going to double check this. 2 times vertex count. Let's look at our net, make sure our net's correct on that. Trail amount times 2 times vertex count. So that should be good. We're selecting the beginning of the block there. So selecting the beginning of the block for the trails. Times 2 times. Yes, yeah, that is correct. Because there's an XY value for this many vertices, times by the trails. So yeah, that's right. And then the vertex ID is just selected. It's every 2 blocks according to this, and this is going to the max vertex count, so that's good. And then the previous one is the selected vertex minus 2 times vertex count. Yes, and that puts us back exactly 1 trail. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're selecting things correctly here. Two times vertex count, so that's a shape. This is a shape. That's how many vertices are in a shape, and it's times 2 because of the XY values. And so, for example, if we have 4, that's going to be 8 values minus the current one that takes us back exactly 1 trail. Yep, that is right. Oh, this isn't selecting the vertice though. So we need to take everything back 1, but we need to select the corresponding vertice in that previous trail. So we're missing this here. Plus, there we go. There's that. That's correct. That's the previous one. Because we're selecting a vertice here, right? And the trail we're updating, and we have to select the same vertice, but in the previous trail. And we weren't doing that. Selected vertex. Yep, we're good there. Let's see what that does. Gosh, it doesn't look any different. You'd think that would have looked drastically different. That is bizarre. I wasn't expecting it to work. I was expecting it to look different. And for some reason, it isn't. So if I take this away, run it again, it looks exactly the same. It should not look exactly the same. What would cause that? Oh, our drawing would cause that. Because if, let's say we do update this all correctly, but our draw routine is still selecting bad points, well, you'd think there would still be a difference somewhere, even a small difference. Selected vertex. Is my math correct here? Times 2 vertex ID plus, and then it gives us an offset. This selects the row. This gives us the column that we're looking at. Selected vertex. And our second one is selected vertex plus 2. And 3. Oh, whoops! This isn't right here. What's going on? Yeah, this isn't correct. I'm not selecting the right array, first of all. Right there. Oh, that's got me worried. Am I doing that anywhere else? That looks fine. Trail positions. Cool. That would explain why it wasn't changing. Because the code I changed in that formula wasn't changing the array I was selecting, which was the wrong array. Hey, look at that. It's working. We have a trail. You can just barely see it, and I don't know how it's coming out on stream because of compression and stuff. Let's see if... Hey, we got it working. I'm happy about that. Let's add 10 trails. because we can do as many as we want now. It's the spacing won't look right because I'm not, yeah, you may not even see the spacing now that I'm thinking about it. But I think I came up with a solution for that, because the Mystify screensaver isn't updating every frame. There's a delay in the movement, just a little bit. I think it's only like 3 vertical blanks or something. And so we need to do a similar thing here. And that is not difficult to do. Let's get rid of this. We actually don't need this. We need another variable, and we're going to call this move delay. We're going to set it to 3 to begin with. We may add some extra variables to handle this a bit better. But we need to run that counter down. Isn't this so simple? It's literally 3 screenshots. Isn't that cool? Okay, and that clear screen is a lot faster than I thought it would be. It's nuts. And okay, so what we're doing, sorry, I'm getting distracted. If move delay is greater than 0, we just take it down. We count it down. I like to count down on these delay things. Don't know why, it just feels better. But then once it hits 0, we run this once. And so now we're just delaying this draw routine every 3 frames. But what we want to do, in fact, what I think we'll do here, move shape, is updating our trails, update trail positions, is we're actually going to move this to the draw routine, which I should be able to just cut and paste it. Let's see here. I want to select all of it, like this, and I may move it into a function eventually. We'll see. Is here. It'll be the first thing that we run in our draw routine. We'll update all those things and then we'll draw. The reason why is we don't want our trails updating. We want to make sure that we don't want it updating every frame. So our move shape, this is our virtual move, so we don't actually see this. Happens in the background, and we want it moving but not showing, because that's what's going to create our space between the trails. So we'll move it but not update the draw, and then every 3 vertical blanks it'll update the trail and the erase, or their positions. Let's see here, is that going to work? Yes, that'll work, because that will keep the previous trails in memory. They aren't updating every frame. Let's see if it works. I think this is the solution. We do need, I could work this, so we don't need this if else out here, but let's give it a try, see what happens. Undeclared. Oh, so yeah, this is a problem. That's okay, I can actually run this again, because I'm pretty sure I'm doing, oh, I'm not. Oh, we just need to run another for loop. Okay, so we got this. Vertex ID, where am I doing that? It's right there, so we already have that. So I'm going to copy this. We're going to paste it right here. Get rid of all this except for that X and Y position. Don't need this selected vertex. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. That gives us that. And then we can move all of this into here, like that. Each time I do one of these loops, it slows things down. So this may not be the best code in the world, but it is working. It seems to be running fairly quick too. That should be all we need. Should be all we need. What am I missing? Error, redefinition of trail ID. Trail ID, not trial ID. Where am I doing that? 179. Oh, I'm doing it down here. So we can just get rid of that. That should be fine, because then we draw everything. In fact, we could probably combine this for loop with this for loop if we wanted to. We're not going to worry about that right now. 6, 2. That is strange. Why isn't it drawing the other trails? It's going through each vertex. Oh, maybe when I initialize it, it's not. I think they're all there. They're just all on top of each other. Let's see here. So they're all starting in the same position. We draw that. We shift everything down. Everything's zeros to begin with. Shift down. Let's see here. And then we reach our second movement. Takes that, shifts it down. No, this should be working. This should be giving us a position. A second position. Third, fourth. Yeah, it should just be going through. Strange. Exposition. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I need to come up with a different way of doing this. I do have to move this into the draw shape routine though, this updating the trails, because that does need to only happen when we actually draw. Yeah, why isn't that? We're not seeing anything. If we're going through every third frame, that trail array, I think it's because it's all initialized at 0. And so when the line actually moves, in fact, what's weird about this, here, let's give it a longer delay. Oh, duh. I forgot to update this. This will help. I don't know if we'll see any trail yet, but we needed to reset our counter. We weren't doing that. Okay, so we have our delay now. We can actually slow this back down here. 0 or 1. Like that. And we're going to change these to 2. Okay. Is it actually drawing that line 10 times? or however many times we're doing it. 3 times in this case. Let's bump this up to 10. I thought I bumped something up to 10. Now that slowed it down. Just a little bit. Yeah, that is screen and then draw shape. So we update our trail positions here. We're just shifting everything in the array down 1 position. Yeah. So this selects the last value in the array. It's not getting to 0 again. It's a little frustrating. Trail ID. So if we did let's see here. Is there? I thought I had this working already. Didn't I already have this working at some point? Here, I'm gonna do our little debug test again. Print f. I just want to make sure that this is going through all the trails. Debug console. Percentage D with a line break. And this is trail ID. So we should expect 9 through 0, but I'm wondering if it's not actually hitting 0. And we're gonna just make another for loop here. Int I 0. What do we call this usually? Debug I. Debuggy 0. As long as debuggy doesn't equal 0. Debuggy minus minus or plus plus doesn't equal 12. We'll give it just a little bit of a delay, and we just run a vsync to slow it down. That should do that. We do need to open up our console again so we can actually see it. 6209. Yep, so that's working fine. And it's drawing. It's just we don't see it every frame because of that clear screen command. Okay, I'm gonna leave that open just in case we need to debug some other stuff. I'm gonna just comment that out for now. So that's working fine. That's counting down correctly, which is good. That's fine. We are drawing things correctly there. It's just our trail positions aren't. They should be offset, because our trail array is only updating after that delay we just added, right? And so those values should be 5 frames behind, or 3 vertical blanks behind, or whatever it's set at. Yeah, 3 vertical blanks behind, or ticks. I don't even know what that is. It's gonna delay it. In fact, we can bump that up even a little bit more just to make sure. Yeah, so that's fine. So every 5 vertical blanks, and it's only updating those values every 5 vertical blanks, and so we should have a history of where that primary position was 5 blanks ago, but we're moving it every blank, and so there should be, the vectors should be a difference of 5 vertical blanks, whatever that equates to in the actual movement. So I should be working, because then we're drawing according to that trail history, right? Which happens right here. That's why I was saying we can probably combine these two loops eventually. Yeah. Actually, no, we can't, because this one's going forward and the other one's going backwards, so no, we can't. Well, we could. We could do it. We'd just be drawing it backwards, which might be a problem if we want to do any color things. So we'll leave it as it is right now, because I don't think having them separated is a problem. This goes through the trail and just draws them. Yeah, just goes through and draws them. First point, second point. Shape first vertex ID. Yep, and does that for every trail. So in this case, all 10 trails for every vertex in each trail, and it just draws it. That should be working. I don't know what I'm missing. This is just doing the main shape. My logic must just be off with this delay thing, but I've walked through this in my head several times, and everything's telling me it should be working. I mean, we could, put this down here, and this should work too. It'll just leave kind of a solid block trail. That's what I'm expecting, but it's not. For whatever reason, it's not. We move everything out. We do see that we have trails just a little bit. Actually, we won't see them now because we're only moving 1 pixel at a time. So basically what it's doing is it's drawing that shape 10 times right now for some reason. Let's see here. And I can prove that, I believe, by just increasing this to like 100. What it's going to do, it's going to draw that 100 times now. 6.2. And it should slow. Yeah, it's slowing down the program. So it is drawing it 100 times. But it's, for some reason, it's drawing it all in the same position. Let's just do 5. What does that one mean again? Shape init. That's vertex amount. This is CLUD ID. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So for some reason, I'm going to leave this outside really quick. For some reason, it's not actually updating. Jean-Paul Marie, hello. Just one question. What editor are you using? I'm using, it's the default just text editor in Kubuntu. It's called Kate, K-A-T-E. But it's kind of like an IDE. It's not really an IDE. Well, it kind of is. I'm not as familiar with what you would call your traditional IDEs, and so I can't make a well thought out opinion on that. But this is done really good for the Jag stuff. I can open up a console here, run, and just navigates to where my project is. This is just a normal Linux terminal down here, so there's nothing special about it. I don't even know what this current project thing is. And then and then it has some nice search and replace tools here. It functions like an IDE. I mean, they have highlighting up here. If you come up to tools, highlighting, you can change your indentation, encoding, and end of line, how it behaves with that. Highlighting, you can switch. They have all sorts of things. They even have Motorola 68000, I believe, which is cool because they have Motorola. I thought that they had it, maybe not. Oh yeah, 68K right there. That, and it apparently emulates the highlighting similar to other IDEs like DevPack, which I believe I've worked with DevPack a little bit on the Atari ST, which is an old compiler for the ST. I hope I'm using the right verbiage there, but anyways, and so it's an IDE, I suppose. But But yeah, it's nice. It does what I need it to do. I'm comfortable with it, and I don't have to install anything extra when I reset my OS for whatever reason. It's just it's installed by default in Kubuntu, and so I just set up all my projects to utilize it. Thank you for the feedbacks. Have you tried the Virtual Jaguar RX emulator based on Virtual Jaguar? The RX version focused to add a debugger, ELF, dwarf support. I don't know if I'm still using as an extension, and I don't know if there's a difference between these two. I'm still using COF, C-O-F. That's what the remover library handles. I think you could just change the flags on the cross compiler so you can get an ELF file, kind of like with don't other 68,000 platforms like the Genesis, they use ELF format as well. So I don't know if there's a problem with that, or if there would be an issue with that. The Jaguar RX emulator, isn't that one developed by somebody based in Russia? It seems like I have tried it, but it's kind of a pain in the butt to patch it to English and all that jazz, and so I just haven't used it a whole lot. Maybe I should take a look at it if it has debugger support. It'd be cool to add things like breakpoints and stuff like that. But anyways, but yeah, the short answer is I've only used it to test out emulation, but I haven't used it for development at all. So maybe I need to take a look at it. Okay, there was another. It was a fork of Virtual Jaguar done by some Russian group. I think it was called Phoenix. Maybe that's what it was. I probably haven't even looked at the Jaguar RX emulator. Let me I'm gonna drop that in my browser so I don't forget. Yeah, so it looks like it's just a fork of some sort. Qt release, disclaimer. Okay, so it has the same readme. Double-click the virtual H from the command line for more information. Finally, if you find bugs, be nice to know exactly what's different here. They doesn't really say anything. It looks like the same readme from the original Virtual Jaguar. So, hey Matt, good to see you again. And Jean Paul, thanks for joining as well. It's good to see you. Yeah, I don't see. If you find bugs, enhance the code, drop us an email. It looks like there might be some different stuff there. More information about this project can be found on the official Virtual Jaguar website. Yeah, so it doesn't even look like the README's been updated. Of course, I haven't read through it all, so I could be wrong on that, but I could go and see the updates and stuff like that and get an idea. Emulator doesn't work into a virtual machine. Unknown interest. Writing pop-up message must be optional. RAM editing is in the memory window. Oh, so there's RAM editing. That's cool. That'd be nice as well. Jaguar hardware registers window. Map doesn't display correctly in Alien vs. Predator breakpoint on data. C and assembly. Yeah, so yeah, I'll have to take a look at this. Maybe I'll switch out. I maintain just a script that, is there a wiki page? Let's take a look. Software, and look who's worked on it. Virtual Jaguar software the RX version has been made specifically to add debugger support, but some modifications have been done as well. Please read the README file for more in depth. Okay, so there's a separate README file probably. I've not seen it in the root, because there is this README here, but it looks very similar. Oh, here we go. ELF headers. Oh, so that's okay. I understand what you're talking about now. It's this ELF support. With ELF headers, with or without dwarf information, there's a 6 type file that's supported version of the J64. Okay, so you've added that. And to be honest, I'm not very familiar with the ELF format. I'm not sure what advantages that gives you over over cough. I don't understand the differences there. I'll have to do some work on that. Oh, I see. There is a navigation over here. Sorry, let me bring this up so you can see what I'm looking at. BIOS and Jaguar mode branches, build, debug branches. Oh yeah, it's just laying that out. Debug modes. Modes existing. Cohabit. One comes from virtual Jaguar legacy and has been fairly modified from the original. It can be activated via the -A flag. Second one is the new additional debugger. Activated with -D debugger. The user has to decide which. Okay. This mode has a memory browser, CPU browser. Yep, those are all normal. Stack browser. Yeah, it's just all the browser stuff, which is. So it's just this debugger mode. This mode includes the Alpine mode features and additional ones to get the most of this mode. The source code must be compiled and assembled with Dwarf to debug information. And I assume that's just a flag I can set in GCC to get that. And maybe I have to switch over to the ELF format in order to take advantage of that too. I'm not sure, but I'll watch for breakpoints for M68K functions, which might be a lot of what I'm doing. Include delete and disable breakpoint for exceptions. Legal instruction. Yes, you are correct. Okay. Yeah, and I would just have to learn how to do that, and it's probably not too difficult. Call stack exception. And see, I'm such a novice programmer, I don't even know what half of this stuff is. Like I there's some words here I know, like I know what the heap is. I understand what that is. At least from an assembler point of view, but I haven't done a whole lot of assembly programming. And so restart of the code, save memory dump, memory windows with an extended save memory, view of the current separate tabs. That's nice. View the source code files in a specific tab. That's nice too. View cartridge directory and files, output video, M68K cycles you should display in the emulator status windows. That would be useful too. No, this is cool. I'll definitely look into this. I had no idea that this was happening. It seems like there was some mention on the forums about this, but on the Atari Age forums. Formats. JPEG Windows requires the libraries. Yeah, just everything you need. Oh yeah, look at here. ELF Object Access Library. Oh, this is just the libraries you're using to handle some of that stuff. Cool. Compression library. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks for letting me know about that. I will take a look at that. I didn't want to interrupt your presentation. Sorry, I just wanted to show. No, and thanks for showing me this, because this might actually make my presentations a little more bearable, because I'm doing a very manual way of debugging things by just commenting code in and out and getting more familiar with. Don't want to say traditional, just a better tool set for debugging could make these streams slightly more interesting, because I'll be able to move through things faster. Like right now, it's a little bit boring because I really have no idea why we're running into this issue where we're not seeing a trail of some sort. The other option I have for debugging is I can literally bring a console up on screen and just look at values, essentially, which I think we're going to have to do here. Yeah. Okay, where was I? Just deciding if I want to do some slow, just stepping through things, but I got that from the website. It would be cool to be able to say, okay, there's some sort of exception or an overflow or something here. Where exactly is that in the code? That would speed things up immensely. If I could narrow that down quicker. Like yesterday, I was just showing how I was narrowing down a crash in my program, and it was just a matter of, okay, what code did I just add? Let's just comment it all out and just bring things back in slowly where I could. And luckily, I could do that fairly easy with the way that code was set up, and I was able to narrow it down fairly quick. But it would probably be faster if I had a debugger that could trace stuff at the C level. So, anyways. No, thanks for bringing that up. I'll take a look at it and see if I can get it integrated. I maintain a script specifically for the removers library for installing that in a Linux, in an Ubuntu Linux environment with just a few keystrokes. And so if I do adopt it, what I would do is adapt that script so it's actually downloading Virtual Jaguar RX instead. And here's the thing, if there's really no reason why I shouldn't do that if it's literally just the same version of Virtual Jaguar I'm using right now, but with these extra tools added. So no, thanks. I'll find some time to take a look at that. It may take a few weeks. I'm pretty busy nowadays, but I'll take a look at it and probably shift over to it just so I have those extra tools and start learning how to use them. So okay. We know that we're going through this for loop correctly. Yeah, it's making sure that I'm shifting all those values in the array down correctly, and I know I am. I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked at it directly, and what I could do is I could just step through this. Let's give it a try. So let's uncomment this really quick. What we're going to do is we're going to look at two specific points. Let's see here. If we're shifting it down, let's do this. How many trails are we doing? We're doing 5. Let's just do, we should be able to see it with 3. Fairly easy. And then we're going to do our shift. We're going to move this outside, this debug code, like this. So what we're going to do is I want to see the actual shift. And what we're going to do is we're going to just look at the first vertex for all 3 trails and the X value. And what it should look like in the debug console is the first number should be all zeros to begin with. And then we'll have a first number and it'll shift down 3. And then it should just do that infinitely. It should. We'll see. And so we'll bring in 3 values. Here we'll print 3 different integers to the debug console. And they will be... Oh, wait a second. No, I can manually put this in. It'll be a little bit long, but we'll get it here. It's trail positions. First value is, and we just take this right here. No, actually, no, we can just do 0 times 2 times S vertex count, like that. And that gives us our first, gives us the first vertice of the first trail and the X value of that first vertice. And then we copy and paste this for the other 2 and just change that 0 to the trail that we want. Whoops, put that in the wrong place. Like that. And let's do our last one. Oh, whoops, forgot a bracket. And bracket. And this is going to be 2, and this is going to be 1. Right? And we have 3 trails. I'm pretty sure we had 3 trails. Yep, we had 3 trails. So we're doing 0, 1, and 2, which is correct. So we have 0. Oh, I screwed up on this one. 2, 0, 1, and 2. There we go. And then we're going to just delay it a little bit. Let's delay it just a little bit longer. Should write a little function for that so I don't have to write out. Yeah, so it isn't doing what I'm expecting it to do. It's just duplicating it across all 3 of those. Okay, that's good to know. So there is something wrong up here. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. It is initializing everything to 0 on the trail right here. let's see here. I'm counting backwards. Vertex. Yeah, we're going through it backwards. And so it should, those first values should be just 0. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit more, because all 3 values should be 0 to begin with. But they're 99, which is, that is weird. Did I move shape? Yeah, we moved the shape there. Oh, wait a second. We had to do that move before this. There is another way I can move this back into here if I want. And there is another way I can incorporate that delay we were trying to do earlier. So we may do that. In fact, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Just to get rid of that possible problem. Let's see here. Yeah, it's weird that it's duplicating that across all 3 values. It shouldn't be doing that. Selected. Oh. Yep, I need to swap these for loops. That's the problem. So I need to move this outside. Yeah, that's all I need to do, pretty sure. They had those swapped. They were incorrect. 6-2. Nope, same problem. I think that is an issue, though. Yeah, that was an issue. Because what was happening before is I was going through all the vertex. Well, actually, maybe it doesn't matter. No, it does matter because I want to select the trail and then go through each vertex in that trail. That trail shape and go through each vertex. So yeah, that was a problem. I had my for loop swap there. That wasn't good. Vertex ID. Yeah, that's fine. We get our X and Y position there. That's fine. Yep, that's good. Times 2, because that array only has an offset of 2. Selected, trail previous, trail selected. Oh, this is wrong. Previous vertex. Oh, this isn't correct right here. I'm afraid to change this because I'm pretty sure we had this working. Because we are selecting the vertex here and we're just going back exactly 1. You know what we could do is, because this that's correct right there. Pretty sure. I don't understand why it's writing the same value to each one. It shouldn't be doing. It should be starting out as 0 on all those. Why is it writing the same value across all of them? Selected vertex. Yeah, that's fine. See, technically, I don't need this here because I'm doing it here. Before I swap this variable out, it was this one. All we needed to do is go back exactly the amount of one trail to select the right one. In fact, I'd rather do that because it'll save us a few cycles, I guess. Just get rid of that. Because that should work too. Let's see what it looks like. See if it screwed everything up. No, it's fine. Okay. Yeah, there's something I'm missing here. Trail. Oh, I didn't swap this out first of all. There we go. We need the first, back to the first, because this is our oh no, we're already. Oh no, that's correct. That is correct because we're filling in the vertices. Yeah, that's fine. This takes the previous one, plugs it in to the one below it. That's right, and we're going backwards through the array. It's almost like it's doing it more often than it should. Which is weird. It shouldn't be doing that. Okay, let's make sure this is correct. We're selecting the trail with this, so we're selecting the trail shape 0, 1, and 2, which is correct because we have 3. And then we're selecting, we do that by an offset of how many vertices there are, and times 2 because of x, y. Yeah, so that's fine. We're selecting that, and this is the very first value, so it's the x value of the very first vertice in that array. And those should be different as time goes on. It should just shift, but it isn't. There's something I'm not doing right here. See, I almost want to start over on all this because this looks correct to me, which means I've gotten used to it. Like, logically, it does make sense. So we hit. Oh, there's a problem. Trail ID, that's a problem. Am I even using this anywhere now? I'm not. Let's get rid of that. That was a problem. There we go. That's what I expect. And we have our trail. I can see it right now. Okay, let's get rid of this debug code. I think we got it. There it is. There's definitely a trail there. We just need to add our delay now. So let's see if that idea of moving this inside of this little delay counter will do the trick. So we just need to move these two down. I believe that's what I had planned. 6, 2. There it is. We got it. Yay! Awesome. I wish I had a little applause button. That would be awesome right here. Maybe I should do that. I know other podcasts do stuff like that. I should imitate. Oh, that is so cool. That's working. Let's make it a little less symmetrical. 105, 200, 173, and 4, and 25, and 77, and 95 and 302. Sure. Should make it slightly more interesting. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, that's not good. Why are we drawing? Oh, it's 240 goes off the bottom there a little bit. That bottom corner is just bouncing. Huh, that's weird. You think it would. So right now, my I don't have any floating precision to the movement. It's just a linear movement right now, or it's a it's not 16 point precision going on right now, and so the bounces, it will eventually loop, is what I'm saying. But what's cool about this though is now, oh, what we need to do, yeah, we got it, Matt. We need to write a function that fills this out a little bit quicker. But I kind of don't want to do that until we get the movement. Well, let's just do it. I can update it later. So shape, what we can do in our init shape, we could actually just do it with this. Actually, what we're going to do is, I think, so right now we're knitting all those values to 0, but what we can do is we can do two, let's see here. How did I have this separated out? Right? Glad I wrote this down. So the shape, it's our XY, so those could be random values, and our vector could be a random between 1 and -1. Could even be 0, but that wouldn't be too interesting to look at. And then our speed can be, that could technically be random too. That might be interesting. We really only want to do 2 values there though. And we need to update this because our collision code is very basic for the sides. And I really don't want to make it more complicated except for just having it scale this number according to whatever random speed it chooses. I don't think that will look exactly like Mystify, but it may look interesting still. So I'm going to wipe these out, and we're going to run 3 for loops. 1 for loop for the x and y, 1 for loop for the vector, 1 for loop for the speed. I'm just wondering if I can kind of cheat some randomness as it simulates these bounces, just some fuzziness. So when it bounces, it collides. What I do is I alter the speed or change the vector temporarily on an opposite vector. So if it bounces on the x, what I do is I swap the y. So instead of continuing to bounce in one direction, it swaps it, and vice versa for x as well. That might be enough randomness so I don't have to worry about doing some vector math for the movement. Just to keep things simple. What time is it? 7:20. Oh, I still have time. So let's update our init function first with 3 for loops. And in this case, we do need I does not equal 2. No. Vertex amount. So this is going through everything right now, which is not what we want. Let's see here. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to do two for loops. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to just go through each vertex. So we do the vertex amount, right? So if I doesn't equal vertex amount, so we're going through each vertex, And then our second loop is, that's 6. It's how many values. So for I equals 0, I doesn't equal 6, because that's how many data points of data we have for each vertex. And we're just going to go through. No, we're not going to even do that. We're just going to we're going to type this out manually. I was thinking I was going to be clever with this, but I'm not going to be clever with it. We're just going to get it done. Vertex, no, vertex data. We're just going to go through and update these all manually. So 0, well, equals like that. So vertex data. Yeah. Oh, we do need to do some math here. So this is going to be plus 0. And it is I times 6. That will select our vertex, and then this will select the point of data for that vertex. Yep, that's correct. Okay. And there's 6 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so our first two values are going to be random. So x is just going to be a random value between 0 and, actually let's do, it's going to be 318 values plus 1. So it's going to be 1 through 319. Yeah, that's right. And then our y is going to be very similar. It's going to be 220 or 238, because 240, right, is our max on our y. And then our y vector, this takes a little more code. In fact, I'm going to have to look this up because I just don't do this very often. An inline if statement. I can never remember the name of that. So it's going to be two values. So it's going to be either 0 or 1. Yeah, I'm going to look that up really quick. Let's go over to the browser. And leave that open. And we're going to do C code inline if. That may be a valid name for it. Not sure. Ternary operator, I think it's the actual name. Oh, you guys can't see the browser. Why isn't that showing up? Something bad happened here. Give me a second. I'm going to go back over to coding. Go back to my browser. I don't know why the browser just dropped out. That was weird. Not that one. There we go. Yeah, that was strange. Go back over to that. Okay, and browser. There we go. There it is. Not sure why I was doing that, but okay. I just got to figure out how to do it for C. Traditional if else statement. Result equals A is greater than B, then X else Y. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So it's just this question mark. Random 2. Oh, can I do it inline here? I'm pretty sure I can. 2 greater. Yeah, I just oh, I guess I could do a Boolean, right? Oh, what I do is I wrap this in parentheses. So if it's greater than 0, it'll be 1. So just make it 1, else -1. So if it's 0, it'll be -1. Pretty sure that'll work. Whoops. Yeah, That should work. Let me double check that really quick. Yeah, I'm gonna add some spaces here. So I guess it's easier to read. I don't know. This is why I don't like doing inline if statements, is I just find them difficult to read. And we do the same thing for this one. And then for our speed, this is a little bit different. What we can do, this can be, let's say, oh no, we can use the same one. So if it's equal to 0, like that, pretty sure I can do this. I'm pretty sure this is valid. If it's equal to 0, then if it's equal to 0, make it 2, else 1, like that. We do that the same thing for this. Okay, that should be good. We shouldn't have to do anything beyond that, except for we may need to update our collision code to take into account. Well, this is pretty easy actually. We can just go selected vertex. And what was it? A value of 6, I think. If the speed was 2, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So we do times. So if it's 1, it's just going to be 2. But if it's 2, it'll be 4. That may be enough. We'll give it a try. Maybe enough. We'll see. Selected vertex. We need to select our speed, and so we'll do, this is for the x, so plus 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That selects the point of data that we want. Copy and paste this to here, and get rid of those, don't need those. This will be 5. Okay, let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, I don't think it liked that. Go 66. Oh no, I'm just missing something. Let's see here, our expected expression before the parentheses, so at 27, there's 23. Oh, I times, I totally missed this. I times 6. That's what it needs to be. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. There we go. See if that helps. Okay, 57. Warning, unused variable. Yeah, we didn't use this. Get rid of that. 219. Go to 219. I'm just missing a parentheses right there. Like there. 220. Let's see what it says now. Okay. It's 2. There we go. It's not bad. Is it random? I don't think it's random because our vectors they're just simple vectors. Oh no, it may be random. It probably does eventually loop, if I had to guess. But something I am planning on doing with this, and I don't know if I'll do this on stream, but is it will stop by itself after a certain amount of time, reset the shapes, so there's new shapes every once in a while. We need to set up our background color and everything right now. It's just whatever was on the previous screen, that's what the background color is. What's cool about this is we can add as many points as we want to this, I'm pretty sure. As well. Let me turn the delay down a little bit so our trail is a little bit closer together, like that. That feels better, doesn't it? This is so cool because we can add as many trails as we want now too. So right here we can add 10 trails if we wanted to. Let's take a look at that. Look at all those trails, and it's slowing down a little bit. That's why it's flickering. So we may be limited on our trails. But that's cool. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And we can set our color as well. Like I can just change the color here really quick. Let's see here. Let's do for our red, let's do 15. Shift that 11 bits, or it. And for our blue, let's make it kind of a purple, so let's do 15 on that as well. Shift that 6 bits, and then for our green, we'll do this will make it gray. I don't want to make it gray. Let's just do a small number. Let's do like 12 on that. So yeah, that should work. That should change the color. Yeah, so that changes the color of our polygon. Oh, I was going to change how many vertices. Let's do 8. Let's double it, see what that looks like. I think my code's malleable enough to handle this. So, oh yeah, so there's 8 points. Isn't that cool? That is really cool. Yeah, it kind of doesn't look as good with that. It kind of looks cool, I guess. Let's drop it back to just 4 trails or something. That should be a little bit easier to look at. There we go. Yeah, so I can add as many points to that polygon as I want, which is cool. Let's go crazy. Let's add 64, because it's 64 bits. That polygon has to have 64 points on it. Ah, yeah, look at that. That's a joy to look at. Let's just give it. Oh, can I go down? Is my code good enough for just one trail? It may crash. Oh no, it's fine. There we go. Cool. Yeah, that's a polygon with 64 points. That's fun. That's cool. Okay, let's get serious again. Nah, this is fun. Shape 1. Yeah, so I can init as many shapes as I want now, and I just have to make sure I do. So what we could do here instead of this, because we are declaring our shape here, what we can do is we can declare an array of shapes. So let's say we want 3 shapes like that, and then we can just run some for loops in our code. So we're going to make them all 3-sided. Let's build our for loop. Int I equals 0 for I equals 0. I doesn't equal 3. That's how many shapes we have, and we can set up some defines, so we just need to change one value and we can create as many or as few shapes as we want. But we won't worry about that right now. I don't think I'm going to do the menu for this on stream, because that's kind of boring, just working with text. Like that. Switch this to I, like that. And we're going to set our clut, so they're all going to have different colors. It's going to be I plus 1, because we don't want it to be black. The first value in the Jaguar's color lookup table is always black. And so we want that to be plus 1, and they're all going to have 3 sides. Yeah, that's it. That's initiated. We can move our we can init the trail in there. We can actually give them different size trails if we want. I'm not going to worry about that though. Trail I pass that in like that, and that will give us 3 shapes. And then we have to run a for loop down here. So, and we have to run a couple of them. So for this, we'll go through all 3 of those shapes, move them, I, and then we run that same for loop for here. So they'll all be moving in sync, which I think the Mystify screensaver is doing that, if I remember correctly. We do not need to clear the screen 3 times. We do not need to update our delay 3 times. We just need to update the shape 3 times, or draw the shape through. We need to draw the 3 shapes. That's what we're doing here. So I'm just going to move this up here. We'll run our for loop. I'm going to put a space or line break between those, so we know that that's a very separate thing that we're doing there. Yeah, and I think that should do it. We should have 3 shapes. As long as there isn't a syntax error. Did I save? Yep, I saved that. Error shape undeclared. Where is that? 42 on the header file. Huh? Why is it saying that? Oh, it probably doesn't like that I'm using the same name there. Shapes. Let's make it plural. Not confusing at all, right? That may be our problem. Nope, that's not our problem. Oh, come on. Why is that? Previous declaration of shape. Oh, I didn't save. There we go. Okay, that helped. Shape 1, 51. Where's 51? Oh, we have to unload things correctly here as well. Always need to remember that, because that will eventually lead to a crash if the person exits the screensaver and then comes back in. It will more than likely crash. Yeah, just like that. There we go. Error. Expected expression before shape 52. Where? Am I missing? No, that's fine. That's fine. I++. I. Yeah, that's fine. 52 and 53. Expected expression before shape. Oh, shapes. There we go. Shapes. There we go. Remember, I made it plural. There we go. There's our 3 shapes with no trails. Why don't they have trails? Oh, because we set our trail to 1. But yeah, so we have 3 shapes there, bouncing around. 3 polygons. Let's give them some trails. See how it handles. So it's going to be drawing that. Well, it's 3 times 3, right? Or is it? Yeah, 3 times 3. So 9 times. It's drawing it 9 times. Drawing 9 shapes at a time. And it looks like it's handling that fairly well. There's a little bit of flickering up at the top, so that might be our max. The Mystify, the original Mystify screensaver only does 2 shapes. And so technically we shouldn't be doing 3 shapes. So I'm going to make a quick define here. Define shapes. Total shapes. Like that. And we're going to set it to 2 and swap out everywhere where it says 3. And that way we only have to change this value if we want more shapes in the future. And I don't think I'm going to make that an option in this screensaver. So is that it? Nope. Got that one too. Just got to make sure I get every instance of that. I think that's it. So it should just be save. I didn't save. There we go. Okay, there we go. So that's good. We should probably try this on real hardware. Well, let's do a few more things. We need to fade the background color down to 0. I need to set a color for this shape. This will all be in the menu where I'll set a random color for those later. We're gonna call it. I'm gonna be finishing up here in a few minutes, so let's just set some. Make this 0. Make this 31. It's gonna be very blue with some green. We're gonna make it very 52. We're gonna make it cyan, and then we need to fade our background color down. And I gotta see how we did that in the Matrix screensaver. Ooh, this is a mess. I could probably do some cleanup here. Drop head color, set clut. Yeah, that's how I was doing the fades for that, so we may need to do a similar thing. Looks like I just need to set the background color. Pretty sure I do that here somewhere. Yeah, we set the fade to color to black. Okay, so that's what I do here first. So let's do that. This 0, 0, and 0. Like that. I guess I don't need these parentheses around these numbers. And then we just run, I have a function here that fades that background color if that value ever changes. If that fade to background color ever changes, if I remember correctly. So we can just put that in here. S, yep, that's fine. We do need to add some controller code, and I may do that here before we're done, just to get in and out of the screensaver. Because I do need to test to make sure I'm unloading things. There we go. There's our Mystify screensaver. Yeah, we are getting some flickering up there. We're gonna, in fact, let's test this on real hardware. I do have that up. Let's see her right there. Let's go over to the Jag. Six, 2. Oh yeah, it's definitely running a bit slower on the Jag. I gotta figure out how to, oh, that's interesting. There's a little bug there on the left, a little pixel that's popping up. I wonder what that's about. Huh. Interesting. Maybe I should bring in my my collision a little bit on this. So we're doing so less than 1 or greater than 319, less than 1 greater 319, just to make sure it stays in. And we need to change our knit here. We're going to do +2, make this 317 +2, 237, like that. Let's see what that looks like on real hardware. Because what I did there is Seb in his documentation in the removers library said there could be issues if you draw outside of the normal screen space, which is 320 by 240. And I'm wondering if I was still going out just a little bit. But yeah, that's drawing. We have a little bit of flickering there. And I know it's a vertical tearing thing, I'm pretty sure. And I know there's a way to get it to say, hey, wait before you draw. Or maybe VSync before. Oh, I probably just need to change. I can just change. Oh yeah, I can just move my, pretty sure I can just move my VSync into here. My fade color isn't gonna look right though. That's okay. Well, that may work because it won't sync until we actually finish drawing the shapes. See what that does. Yeah, it's smooth as butter now. I need to get rid of, oh wait, no, it isn't. Because it's just drawing it as fast as it can. Let me get rid of that debug console really quick. F print F. I just want to make sure we don't have any uncommented print lines. Here, save that. Let's take a look, another look at it. So that's the vertical blank that's going on up there. He does have another function. It's called wait display refresh. And honestly, I don't know exactly what that's used for. Yeah, so it's a vertical sync thing. That's why we're getting that like cut off up there. But here, let's try this. Go back to, oh, I wonder, no, I need that while loop. Let's move this back here. Let's try that wait display refresh. Wait display refresh. And I know placement of these functions is important. I need somebody to just sit down and tell me how that works. So. No, same problem. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about that. I wonder. If we move it into our function where it draws. So right here where it's actually drawing vertex ID, it draws. If we just run it here and here, see what happens. No difference. Interesting. I feel like we're going a lot lower than we should down below. Why is that? Oh, whoops, 319. This should be 239. Just like, why are we going down that far? That's one reason why it's probably not. It's having an issue with the refresh. Maybe. We'll see. No, we're still flickering up there a little bit. But we are bouncing correctly. That is fun. Cool. Anyways, I think I'm about done here. I want to figure out that refresh thing. Try this a few more times. Try a few different things here. May need to look up the documentation for that. No, I'm not going to worry about it right now. I got it as far as I want to today. We have our Mystify screensaver. Yeah. That's fun. Anyways, thanks for joining me today. We could spend a little bit of time on the menu, but I want to move on. Oh, excuse me. I gotta stretch. I've been sitting. This is the thing about sitting and coding in the morning. I'm not moving around as much as I probably should when I first wake up, and so my body falls asleep again. But anyways, next week we'll be doing another game. I'm not sure what I'll be doing yet. I'll think about it. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment. It seems like we've talked about a few things. I may just do some more homebrew next week. There's a lot of homebrew that's come out over the last couple of years that I would like to cover. I've covered quite a bit so far, but there are some other games. I don't think I've ever covered Rebooteroids, so we may do that one. What else has come out? I may go back to Kings of Edom and play a little bit more of that, but do you plan to release a ROM in the future? Yeah, so Jean-Paul, what I'm doing for this is somebody was asking if there was some test patterns and a thing to test sound on the Jag, and there is a diagnostic cartridge for the Jag that Atari officially did, and you can still purchase those, I believe, from B&C Computer Visions. But I decided to take this as an opportunity to just content for this channel, really, but also to practice a few things that I haven't used in the Removers library in terms of functions and stuff. And that's what these screensavers are all about. And so let me show you. Let me jump back over to. Oh yeah, we're already there. I can't exit. I gotta run this one more time. 1 second. Maybe we'll add the controller code in here. Yes, yeah. So it's the idea of that 240p suite thing that's there for testing hardware, and I'm not associated with that at all. But basically I just have a position calibrator, allows you to change the display position on things, so you can see that. And I'm going to go take a look at what patterns they're testing out on there and see if I can emulate a little bit of that in here. But right now there's just some basic color bars, which I need to clean up a little bit. A white screen, which apparently is good for power testing. That's what the guy said in the forum thread. I'm not familiar with any of that. And then there's a sound balancing. Let me see if you're actually, yeah, where you can pan it left and right. Like that. You can stop it. And then I have a controller test. And this is set up to work with 8 controllers, which I did a stream on that where I was working on that. You can go check that out if you want. And so there's that. And then I have these screensavers. So I have this Matrix screensaver that we worked on a couple weeks ago. And it can, oh, whoops. I need to remix the navigation. It's not the most intuitive right now, but you can change like colors individually, or you can set up random colors. It's kind of fun. So this is just fun stuff. This is stuff that I've been wanting to do, just as practicing. So practicing programming. There we go. But yeah, it's set up. It'll change colors here in just a moment. Give it a second. If I activated it. I'm pretty sure I activated it, didn't I? Oh, maybe I didn't. Thought I did. Wait for it. Yeah, there we go. So it shifts the head of the drop, then the trail of the drop, and the background color. It'll shift it, and it interprets a fade, so it tries to do its best fading that trail off to the background color. So anyways, fun stuff. So we did that, and now I wanted to do this. I want to do maybe one more screensaver, and then I'm going to package this up and release a version on that forum thread so other people can use it if they want. But yeah, so, and I'm glad we got this figured out. It took too much time. It took more time than, well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, this took me about 5 hours to do. So, and I don't consider myself an amazing coder, so that's probably pretty good relative to where I'm at from an education standpoint. So anyways, so I'm glad we got that far. The code is malleable, so we can do different polygon shapes and stuff. I don't know if I'll make that an option, but maybe I'll set it up so you can switch between oh, I'm curious. Sorry, I'm what happens if we just do 2 vertices? If it'll work. Coding. If we do right shapes, if we just 2, will it just do lines? It should just do a line, right? If my code is good. Find out here. If my kung fu is good, right? Oh, look at that. It's a line. So I guess what I'll do is I'll probably do I'll allow you to switch between 1, or 2, 3, or 4 vertices on that. And also, I'm sure you could do a mouse or rotary tester. That might be worth looking into. Something I've asked Seb, the person who built this library, to help me out with is Rotary Control. Right now there isn't direct support for it in the Removers library, and I'm having trouble figuring it out for the one game I'm working on for Oddball, which is basically a Pong clone. And I can't get it working. It works, like the Rotary works, but there's some visual artifacts on the screen that I can't explain. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what's happening low level enough to define what's going on. And so I've asked Seb to work on that, and I believe he has announced somewhere in the Atari Age forums that he is planning on adding Rotary support. And so I probably just need to follow up with them, to be honest. And so once we get that, we can do that. And the mouse stuff is a little bit more complicated. I think I know there's code out there that I can look at, and I'm gonna have to brush up on my assembler to get some C functions tied into that. I've done that before with EEPROM testing. And so Jean-Paul, your question about a memory check, it'd be cool to add an EEPROM printout that just prints out the EEPROM for the test suite. If you happen to have an EEPROM, if this was on a cartridge or whatever, you can do that. And also an internal memory test, a RAM test. I've been thinking about that. I have no idea how to do that. And with the C library taking up so much in memory and stuff like that, I'm not sure how I would even do that. It'd be cool. I guess that would be at the assembler level before it injects the C code and everything. I have a small, very minimal program that runs and tests the memory or something. I don't know. I'll do some research into that and see if it's within my realm of possibilities in relation to my skill level. CJ is the person to talk to as well. Yeah, he has it working in Jag Studio, I know. I would just need to talk to CJ and see how willing he is to help me out in regards to the Removers library. So I know we've actually had some conversations about moving my work over to Jag Studio, and that may happen in the future. I haven't entirely committed to that yet. One reason why I've been wanting to do these programming streams live is so there is some video education on this library before it gets abandoned. I don't want it to get abandoned. It's a good library, especially for C. I've done a little bit in Jag Studio in C code, and there's some things that aren't as convenient to write code-wise in the Jag Studio compared to the Removers library, because it's not natively a C library. They got it working, which is cool. And honestly, I need to be very reserved about my opinion here because I haven't worked with Jag Studio a whole lot. So it's just some initial perceptions I've had. And so I'm planning on sticking with Removers library until I'm at least finished with Crescent Memories, the game compilation I'm working on, and also doing some of these streams. So there is some education out there for anybody else who wants to pick up the Removers library and work on it. Can send you a PS2 compatible USB mouse adapter if needed. I actually built my own serial mouse adapter. And I have my original Atari ST mouse ready for that. I may have a USB adapter now that I'm thinking about it. Oh no, I think what I have is I have the serial adapter, but then I have a USB adapter from my Atari ST, and so I plug that adapter into my Jag adapter, my serial Jag serial mouse to Jag adapter. I chain those two adapters, plug in a USB mouse, and I'm pretty sure it works. I'm pretty sure I've tested that before on Defender of the Crown or something. That one might be fun to stream. Maybe we'll do that next week. I just need to look at my games, and I'll pick a game for next week if I don't get any suggestions. So, could you change the colors randomly or by sequences for the lines you are drawing? Yeah. So in code right now, my functions. If you look here under not shapes. Yes, right here. So what this is it's saying this is for this shape, this is the ID in the color lookup table that it will be assigned to. And then I've assigned colors right here. And all I need to do is change these colors. And I've done that in the matrix screensaver where it was smoothly transitioning the color. I just need to repeat that here for the same thing. I got it set up ready to do that. I'm just changing a color lookup table ID, a palette ID for the color. So yeah, and I'm planning on doing that. I'll probably do that off of stream though. I'll probably spend another 3 or 4 hours on this sometime, probably on the weekend, and finish the screensaver up. So you can set up, you can manually change the colors, or you can set it to random so it just changes every once in a while. Yeah. Also, what I'm thinking is I'll add an option that chooses a random shape, and what it does is it resets it, so the movement is a little more random as well. So I'll figure out a few things. So that is so cool that it can do a line. That's awesome. I'm glad that worked out. I'm glad it's not crashing. I'm still getting this weird random pixel that pops up every once in a while. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but not sure why it's doing that. Maybe I'll contact Seb and ask him about that. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm gonna give you the YouTube spiel. Like and subscribe. That's always awesome. Share this if you feel inclined to do that. It's kind of nice that I am flying a little bit under the radar with this stuff, because it isn't the most interesting thing to watch, and it's really niche too. I understand that. The Let's Play, the game playing is a little more popular, obviously. The programming, I can understand why people just aren't interested in that. It can be slow. I can be quiet at times because I'm trying to figure stuff out, and I'm sure some people are probably pulling their hair out if they've done this code before. They're like, oh, the problem's right there, and anyways, and so maybe that's interesting for people. I don't know. But yeah, like and subscribe. If you're interested in following more news-related items, I do post on JagCorner on Twitter and Facebook, which you can. There's links in the description for that. And I post when I'm ready to do a stream just a few minutes before. I always post on those two platforms, so those people who follow me there are aware that this is happening. What else do I have there? I have I have a Facebook page for my art now. I just added that link in, and I have an Instagram for my art. I post Atari related artwork, but I also post my personal artwork there. So if you're not interested in that, I understand. If you don't want to follow that, that's fine. I try to mix it up so there's some Atari stuff every once in a while, and just my personal artwork as well. And so anyways, you can follow me there if you're interested in the more artistic side. I'm hoping to post a lot more sprite artwork, because I've generated a lot of sprite artwork for these games and I haven't posted any of that yet. I may do that after the game's finished, and so there's going to be some of that in the future. But anyways, yeah. Jean-Paul, thanks for coming. Matt Smith, thanks for coming. And for anybody else, I don't see anybody else that's talked in the chat. Anybody else who's watching, thanks for watching. We will see you next Tuesday and next Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Bye.